Religion, the 1% nation. When I first moved from New Jersey to Los Angeles, I was sent to live with a religious aunt of mine. She was a Sunday school teacher, and each week she would take me to church. I was 12 years old, and I was already suspicious. It seemed to me that any of the Christian religious practices in America really weren't made to include the black community. Churches and religions were designed to help the white people who were already there to maintain control. I became even more suspect of the church when I was out on the streets. People were living in such poverty, and all the praying in the world didn't seem to help their situation. I began to have really hard times out in the streets, and I stopped going to church altogether. I was damn near on the homeless tip when I was in my 20s. I was hustling. I didn't have an apartment. I was staying in hotels or at a buddy's house. When I was rolling, I'd have a career for 2 months, and then I'd flip and move, and then there were times when I was extremely broke, and I would spend a lot of time alone. When I got hurt and went through trauma, I knew I had a choice. I could either pray or not pray. I decided I was not going to pray. When you're out on the streets, after a while, you start realizing it's going to be only you. No one else is going to take care of you. When I was doing wrong, I thought that it was a jinx to pray. Rather than calling in on God to help me do something low, I better try to do it and maybe he wouldn't see me. A car accident 12 years ago really changed my outlook on spirituality. I had never used an outside person for help or any outside religion for relief. I was afraid to. They told me I'd never walk again, so I went into myself and pulled myself together the only way I knew how, alone. I didn't want to rely on prayer and think that it alone was going to make me get better. I didn't trust it. I have to get better, I told myself. I refused to pray. I just went right into myself. I learned that no religion is more powerful than your own spirit and determination. This became the main philosophy for the 1% nation, my current belief system. I formed the 1% nation with my homies on the Lollapalooza tour in 1991. It quickly became a way of life for me. The main premise is that 1% of the world doesn't wait to seek heaven in the afterlife. We strive for it now. We're not suckered in by religions that offer death payoffs. We already know how to find happiness and how to live in love in this lifetime. 1%ers see the ideals of the nation more as a living theory than a religion because we don't pray to an icon. We believe that heaven and hell are emotional states, not real places you're sent to when you die. As a 1%er, you believe the worst hell you'll ever possibly be in is when you're emotionally hurt, when somebody you love abandons you or a member of your family dies and a loss leaves you with a broken heart. Although I've been through serious physical pain, the car accident left me with my pelvis broken in 3 places. I learned that no amount of physical pain can compare to the hurt in your heart. No happiness can compare to the joy you feel when you're around people you love or a partner is making you feel good, not just physically, but spiritually. These feelings put you in touch with heaven. And the 1%ers seek out the positive emotional state of heaven. Humans can launch a rocket ship from the Earth that will land on a planet in 50 years, but they cannot create a living cell from scratch. Only God, a force that is neither male nor female, has the power to create the miracle of life. 1%ers believe the creation of life is the most important element of existence. Sex is the only thing you're ever going to do in your life that is holy because this is where life is created. Everything else you do should be a quest to make the world a better place for other people and the lives of children. We've been compared to a sex cult because we believe the meaning of life, the Holy Grail, is found in the male-female connection in reproduction. If God didn't want us to make love, sex would be the most distasteful, terrible thing in the world. If we had to slash our own wrists to have children, we could possibly be extinct by now. Instead, the act of love is an act of euphoria. Without drugs, without any stimulant, sex allows you to travel through time and space. I am convinced sex is the ultimate drug. There is no doubt in my mind when it comes to sex, 99% of the world is frustrated. 1%ers believe you can have as many sexual partners or lovers as your heart can handle. We feel your heart is a meter, a conscience, that lets you know when you're doing something wrong. A woman might feel she can only love one person. The monogamy is right for her. Another woman might be able to love two men at once, and that's what's right for her. Most people who think like the second woman have society's guilt imposed upon them. Something's wrong with this second picture. They are allowing the rules of these other religions to control their impulses. These impulses should be dictated from your heart to your head. Denying your human instincts is unnatural, and it's this type of suppression that leads to frustration. Frustration causes people to act out. Following your instincts doesn't always mean you're going to be reckless about your desires. A 1%er has to make sure his or her partner understands the philosophy first. Let your partner know up front that you're not necessarily going to be monogamous. If your partner can't deal with that, then you can't deal with them. A 1%er understands sex is not about control. 1%ers' beliefs have evolved since the sexual revolution. We understand the era in which we live demands safe sex and responsibility. Our only sin is bringing unwanted babies into the world. Creating children is the only holy thing you're ever going to do. It has to be taken seriously. When you and a partner decide you're going to make a child in this world, this is your ultimate task. You can bring records in all day, movies, big shit, but a baby has to be thought out, pre-planned. You don't have to be married. You don't have to live together. But both parents have to know and understand that this child is both of their responsibilities. Safe sex and birth control should always be practiced when you're not going into our worship and creating a child. If you have sex and you're not creating a child, you're still exchanging love, happiness, and good feelings. The sexual act is still something beautiful. You're saying to your partner, yo, we can make each other feel good. I think we should do this, so let's travel. It's another way to get high. The Christians in this country want to deny this. They turn it into the big love thing, monogamy, till death do us part. We don't believe in these traditional notions of love. We believe passion can overcome love in certain situations. If two people decide just to enjoy each other, then that's cool. People don't own each other. That's when negative energy kicks in. Maybe two people will find each other and want to be together monogamously. It's a natural progression in that case. And if it's an unnatural or forced contract, then resentment builds. Forcing love is what leads to the lie. I'll be with you forever.